Hello and welcome to Greatness Radio. I am your host, Monica Carter-Tagore, bringing you information, inspiration, and occasionally even interviews to help you show up at your best. When you've made the decision to go for your own greatness, this is the place to be. Let's get to it. Hello, Greatness Nation. Welcome to the new year. I know we've been in this new year for a few weeks now, but this is my first time getting a chance to greet you in the new year, getting a chance to say hi. So welcome. I took a little bit longer off than I expected at the end of last year, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that a bit later. But for now, just welcome. I am so excited about the potential and the possibilities for this year. I'm excited about the potential and the possibilities for you and for me. This is going to be an amazing year, and I want to get it started off right with this podcast with 7 tips to help you walk in your greatness. These 7 tips will help you set the tone for the year and will help you to be able to push through whatever hardships you're dealing with as you go through the year so that you can get back on track and to keep pressing forward for your greatness, to keep walking in your greatness, to keep pursuing your potential. And that's why I'm so excited for this year, because I know this can be a year of transformation for you, and it can be a year of finally really achieving and succeeding at some of the things that you've been striving for or you've been dreaming of. And today, again, I'm going to give you 7 tips for helping you to walk in your greatness so that you have a framework for viewing your greatness and pursuing your greatness. And so let's get to it. The first tip that I want to share is for you to realize that greatness is a journey. It's not a single destination. It's not a one and done. It's not something to where you pursue this one thing and then that's it and everything is on a downward slide from there. That's not it at all. Greatness, again, it's a journey. It's about what you're doing on a daily basis. And the reason that's important is because it allows you to be able to see your progress, and it allows you to be able to keep building. Each time you hit a milestone, each time you achieve something, then you can keep going. You don't have to fall into what sometimes happens is that once someone achieves a certain thing, then there is a bit of a letdown or disappointment because they feel that, well, I've done what I wanted to do. Now there's nothing else left. No. On your greatness journey, that doesn't happen because you keep striving. You keep pressing forward because, again, your walk of greatness is a journey. It's about what you're doing daily. And the reason I share this tip also is because that it can release some of the pressure on you. You don't have to feel that your greatness is about one single achievement or one single thing, because if for some reason you don't hit the mark there, you don't have to feel as if all is lost. Now you know that greatness is a journey and it's about what you're doing day by day by day so that you can stack those achievements. And if one thing doesn't pan out, then you know there's a great likelihood that something else will pan out, and it may even pan out in a bigger, better way. So yes, embrace your greatness and realize that you're on a journey, and the journey is about your greatness, and it's about the things you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Of course, you know my definition of greatness. I believe that greatness is that best and highest expression of who you truly are. You see, I believe we all have greatness in us, but unfortunately, most of us don't present it. It just doesn't show up for most of us. But what I'm trying to do here, what I want to empower you to do is to embrace your greatness and to bring it out because it's already there. It's just about you presenting in an outward way what is already there inwardly, what is already there. You have the greatness in you, but will you pull it out? You pull it out in those daily actions you pursue. You pull your greatness out in the decisions you make on a day-to-day basis. We all have those choices. You see, we can choose to yield to the common demands of being not great at all, or we can choose to pursue greatness. And many of us, unfortunately, yield to the common demands of just not being great. We make the ordinary decisions. We do the things that the average person does. You see, we daily are faced with countless decisions. And those decisions either move us toward our greatness or they move us toward mediocrity. They push us to our greatness or they pull us to be average or even less than. So what decisions are you making on a daily basis on your journey, on this walk? If you are making more decisions that push you toward your greatness, then you are walking in your greatness. You are living in your greatness. But if you are making more decisions that are about the average and the ordinary, the common and even the mediocre, then you're not on your greatness journey. So I want you to really think about that and embrace that thought. So know that even if you messed up yesterday, while it may not be the best thing, today is a new day. And you get to start over today. You get to make better decisions today that help you go in the direction of your greatness. So remember, your greatness, this is a journey. It's not a one and done. It's not about one single thing. It's about what you are doing on that day-to-day basis. Now, number 2 is that I want you to not beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up on your journey of greatness. You see, we all have setbacks, and sometimes we don't achieve things in the way and at the time we originally envisioned. That doesn't mean that you beat yourself up. What that means is that you assess the situation, you figure out what went wrong, where you veered off, and how you can get back on track or make appropriate adjustments. And that actually reminds me of what I was telling you about at the beginning of this podcast, that I took off a little bit longer at the end of last year than I originally planned. I hadn't expected to take off about a month or so between podcasts, but I did. Why? Because life happened. I had some very big health news, and that required that I make some immediate adjustments and create a plan for dealing with that. And so I am working on that now so that I can come out stronger and I can do some even more amazing things in the future. So I had to step back for a moment so that I could step forward. And so I'm not beating myself up over the fact that I had to take off a little bit longer on the podcast than I wanted. I am just making the adjustment. And so that's what I want for you. If something is not happening in the exact way that you expected or planned or thought, then make the adjustment. Don't beat yourself up. You see, beating yourself up over something that you did not achieve or accomplish in the way you wanted doesn't actually help you. In fact, it can actually cause you to fall further behind, because what happens is that negative self-talk can really start to affect how you see your potential, how you see what you're doing, and how you even see the possibilities for your life and work. So don't beat yourself up. In fact, there's so much negativity heaped on us every day. Science tells us that we think some 80% of our thoughts are negative. So you don't want to get stuck constantly pushing forth those negative thoughts and entertaining them. Now, it's true that you may not be able to control the thoughts that enter your mind, but you can control the thoughts you choose to entertain. So don't entertain the negative thoughts. Don't beat yourself up when you don't achieve something. Again, figure out what went wrong, what happened, how you can fix that, and how you can make the adjustment. And remember, as you're on this journey of greatness, you're looking for progress, not perfection. If you are hung up on perfection, then you likely won't get a lot done. And that's because often the unrealistic expectation of perfection keeps many people standing still. They don't move because they're waiting for everything to be perfect, that the timing will be perfect, the circumstances will be perfect, everything about what they're doing will be perfect. And because nothing is ever completely perfect all around, they never get moving. So I don't want you to get stuck there. Know that you're looking for progress, not perfection. You go with what you've got. You move from where you are so that you can get to where you want to be. If things aren't perfect, then just acknowledge they're not perfect and keep moving. Don't beat yourself up just because one of your plans didn't go exactly as you anticipated or thought, because life happens, as I realize and know now. When I got my health news, I realized, well, you know what? This is not the greatest thing, and it certainly wasn't in the plan, but we've got to roll with it. We've got to work with it, and we've got to beat it so that we can achieve the things we want to achieve and to make it the impact we want to make in an even better way, a different way, but a better way. So do the same. Look at where you are, and if there are adjustments that need to be made, embrace those adjustments and go from there. Again, progress, not perfection. Don't get hung up on the idea that everything has to be just so, because everything won't be just so. I will tell you, they won't be. Something will be off. Something will go wrong. So that's the second tip, is that I want you to just not beat yourself up when things don't go right. Just make the adjustment and keep it moving. Number 3 is write the vision. Of course, as a writer, you would expect that I certainly would encourage you to write things down, because I do believe in the power of writing. I believe it is tremendously powerful. And when it comes to your hopes, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, your greatness, it's imperative that you write it down. That's because something happens when you take a thought, when you take your vision, when you take your dream from your head and put it on paper. You are taking it from that thought and bringing it into reality. You're actually seeing it written down. And it's something about seeing it written down in a tangible form that helps to increase the likelihood of it actually happening. Yes, I know you might have your dream in your mind. You might have your vision in your head. You might have your plan in your mind, in your head, but take the time to write it down. Don't rely on it simply being in your head. There's something almost magical about writing it down. So take the time to do that. Even the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. So I want you to write your vision. Whatever it is, whatever vision you have for this year, for your greatness, take the time to write it down. Yes, you have it in your head, but write it anyway. That's one of the key tips. Of course, all of these 7 tips are important because they all have very specific reasons for being a part of this approach. But this one is extremely important because you have got to be able to see your vision in a tangible form. And when you write it down, I want you to put it somewhere where you can actually see it. So put it somewhere where you won't just write it down and then go and forget about it. Put it somewhere where you can actually see it, because that's important. Now, my next tip is, after you've written it down, I want you to move. You've got to act on it. Too many times we spend so much effort and energy and time thinking about what we want to do, praying about what we want to do, hoping for what we want to do, dreaming about what we want to do, but never actually doing it. Thinking is wonderful. We've all got to have hope. And yes, praying is great, but you've got to do. Thinking won't get it done. Hoping won't get it done. Even, and I know I may get beaten up by some people, but even praying will not get it done. Because you see, you have got to actually act upon whatever it is that you're thinking of, hoping for, praying for. So part of walking in your greatness is about moving. Move on that thing. Act on that thing. It's very important that you do so, because you've got to take decisive action to move your vision forward, to move your plan forward so that you can get into your greatness. Because again, it's not going to happen just by you being a bystander. It's not going to happen by you sitting on the sidelines of your life and just thinking about what you want to do. You've got to get in the game and you have got to go. And you know, when you choose to move on your vision, things just sometimes seem to show up. It seems that opportunities show up that you did not see before. It seems that you might even have support systems that show up. You might have resources that show up. Different things show up when you choose to act, when you choose to move. It's almost as if an invisible force is bringing these things into your space to aid you on your journey. So, for instance, when you decide that you are going to just go for your dream, let's say if your dream is writing a book and you're just going to make that thing happen. When you make that decision to act upon it, then suddenly you might find that, oh, a friend you knew just wrote a book. Wow, that friend may have some advice for you. You may find out that there is a competition where you can submit your book proposal and you might even win some prize, win coaching from a writing coach, or you might find that there is some contest to help you land a book deal or a publishing deal or whatever the case may be. It's just that you will suddenly start seeing resources that just seem to almost fall into your lap. You suddenly start seeing opportunities. So it's important for you to make the decision and to act upon whatever that thing is, because when you choose to move in your greatness, when you choose to act upon whatever your vision is, then life will help you. Life will conspire to help you. Things will seem to appear almost as if out of nowhere to aid you on your journey. You'll come across information to help you make more informed decisions. You'll come across allies who want to support you. You'll come across resources that can be a huge part of your game plan. So move. Don't expect that you'll know all the answers to begin with whenever you do decide to move, but just go with what you've got and move on it. And things will, again, fall into place. I promise you, you will find that things seem to almost magically show up. And part of it is that when you focus on one thing, then your brain actually begins to look for information related to it. Your reticular activating system in your brain starts to kind of filter out other information and to highlight that information so that you can really see it. It's kind of like with wearing a shirt. Maybe you bought a shirt and you suddenly realize there were so many other people around with that same shirt. You didn't notice it before because you didn't have that shirt. It wasn't something in your consciousness. It wasn't on your mind. But once you bought that shirt, you began to notice other people around you who had that same kind of shirt. And that's because, again, your brain started filtering out other information and focusing on that information. So that's something that can happen when you choose to move on your vision. Your brain will help you. Your brain will start to focus on that type of information, giving you that type of information to help you to be able to go on and make this thing happen. And number 5, hold yourself accountable. Let me say it again. Hold yourself accountable. It's easy for us to let ourselves off the hook. First of all, I want you to, when you write the vision and when you choose to move on whatever your plan is for your greatness this year, I want you to hold yourself accountable by, number 1, really getting out your planner, whether you have your planner or your calendar on your computer or your smartphone, or you actually have a date timer that you have on your desk, or whatever it is. Pull out a calendar and start putting dates to actions. Write down when you will do thing 1, when you will do thing 2, when you will do thing 3, so on and so forth, so that you make space, you make room in your life to make this thing happen. If you don't make room, it won't happen. It won't magically just happen, because we all feel we're so busy. And we all have lives that are full, even if sometimes they're only full of watching TV all day. But we feel that, oh my goodness, my schedule is so busy, I can't fit another thing in. And so what happens is that if you don't consciously make the decision to pencil in activities that can help you achieve whatever this thing is that you're working on in your greatness, it just won't happen because other things will crowd it out. So pull out your calendar and write down dates and times for when you will do certain things, when you will take certain actions, when you will complete certain tasks, and then hold yourself accountable to that and make sure you actually do that. And if you don't stick to your plan, if you don't stick to what you promised yourself you would do, then don't just give yourself an excuse and keep it going. Don't say, oh, well, last week was so busy I couldn't get to XYZ. No, that's not acceptable. You must hold yourself accountable and to see, why didn't this thing happen? How can I prevent this thing from going haywire the next time? What do I need to do? What other controls do I need to put in place to ensure that I will stick to this in the future? Yes, hold yourself accountable. Not you're not hitting the mark, then really ask yourself, what's going wrong here? What am I doing? Why am I not getting this done? And either commit to the thing and get it done, or be honest with yourself and say, you know what? This is not a priority for me. It's not going to happen. And there you go. So don't kid yourself. Hold yourself accountable. If you say you're going to do something that's going to help you on your journey of greatness, then do it. If you don't do it, challenge yourself. See why you didn't do it. And then make the adjustment so that you can get back on track. Or if you're just constantly not doing the things you've promised yourself, be honest. Acknowledge to yourself that it's not that important to you. You're not going to do it. You are not willing to commit the time, the resources, the effort, the whatever it is to making that happen. And go from there. So don't kid yourself. Make sure that you hold yourself accountable so that you can get these things done, so that you can press forward. And that actually takes me into the 6th tip, which is keep pushing. Even when you have setbacks, you just keep pushing. I watch football, and even though, unfortunately, my Dallas Cowboys are not in the playoffs, I still watch football right now during the playoffs from time to time. And one of the things that running backs, or probably any runner, will do, one of the things that running backs do is that they try to keep their feet moving. Even if a defender tackles them, they still try to keep their feet moving because they know that sometimes when they keep their feet moving, they can somehow break that tackle. They can somehow get enough space to keep going. They can break free and somehow gain more yardage, maybe even a touchdown after being initially stalled or even stopped. And that's the same I want for you. Keep your feet moving. Even if it feels that you've been tackled by life, even if it feels that something has stalled you or even stopped you, you keep your feet moving. You keep pressing forward in some kind of way. Even if it's a small way, you keep at it. You keep moving until you can do more and more, until you can make bigger and bigger steps. But for now, if you feel that you've been stalled, just keep your feet moving. Keep doing some small thing. And if you keep at it, then you can break free and then you can make those gains. It's important that you don't stop. It's important that you do not succumb. You want to keep your feet moving. So press on and push on this journey of greatness. Remember, it is a journey. It's not about just one day. It's about day after day after day. And because it's about day after day after day, you know there will be some setbacks, but you just keep it moving. For instance, when I got my health news a few weeks ago, I still kept my feet moving. I knew that there would be some changes, and I knew that some of my plans may need to be adjusted, but I kept my feet moving. I kept making small steps. I kept looking at my plan, seeing what I needed to adjust, seeing what I could do within the context of this health news, so on and so forth. And I'm in a much better position now because of that, because I did not stop. That's why I'm here giving this podcast today. I could have stopped and said, you know what, just forget it. I'm just not going to do that. But no, I kept my feet moving. And today I'm back working on the podcast, very excited about it. And so do the same. Keep your feet moving. Keep doing something. Keep doing something on your journey of greatness. Keep pressing on. It's important for you to keep pressing on, because if you stop, who knows if you'll start again? If you stop, who knows if you'll ever reach your potential? If you stop, well, I don't even want to finish that thought. So if there's something that happens unexpectedly, let it be possibly a minor setback, but not a roadblock. You don't want to encounter a roadblock or to feel that you've encountered a roadblock. You don't want something that absolutely stalls you and stops you and keeps you from moving forward. Maybe it's a setback. A setback just means that you step back so that you can move forward. And that's okay. That's where you make the adjustment. So whatever you encounter, and you will encounter some kind of setback, just don't let it become a roadblock. Don't let it be the thing to stop you. Maybe a stumbling block. Stumble over it if you must. Stumble until you can regain your balance. But make sure that you keep moving. You keep pressing forward. And number 7 is to embrace your awesomeness, because you have it and you are it. You see, a lot of times what we do is that we undermine our own greatness. We somehow downplay the awesomeness about us. And I don't want you to do that. We receive compliments. Oh, wow, you did that great thing. That is amazing. That's wonderful. And what do? Oh, that was nothing. Oh, that was very easy. It was no big deal. We are downplaying our greatness. We are downplaying our achievement. Don't do that. Just embrace your awesomeness. If someone wants to compliment you on something you've achieved or something you've done, say thank you and keep it moving. Don't try to downplay it. And if no one notices or acknowledges the progress you've made or the great things you're doing, that's okay. You celebrate your own successes. You embrace your own awesomeness. You make sure that you are acknowledging to yourself that you have made progress, that you are doing this thing, that you are indeed on a journey of greatness. That's extremely important. You see, you must celebrate your successes, because success begets success. And if you are somehow downplaying your success or feel that you don't have any success, then it's likely that you won't create new success. So make sure that you are embracing your successes. You're celebrating your successes, because the more successes you celebrate, the more successes you create. Yes. The more successes you celebrate, the more successes you create. And again, you're on a greatness journey. You are creating this thing. You are creating this thing from your vision. And so as you do that, it's important for you to be able to celebrate what you are creating. Celebrate the progress you've made. Celebrate the achievements you've had. So whether other people acknowledge them or don't even notice them, you will celebrate them yourself, because you must embrace your awesomeness. You must embrace the greatness that is already in you, so that you can help to bring it forth, so that you can help to share it with those who are meant to experience it. Because your greatness is there because you are meant to touch lives. You are meant to make a difference. You are meant to make an impact in this world. You're not here just because. You're not here because of an accident. You are here to do a specific and important work. You are here to walk in your greatness. And so I wanted to share these 7 tips with you to help you to embrace and walk in your greatness this year. So I want to just sum them up. Number 1 is that I want you to realize that greatness is a journey. Number 2, I don't want you to beat yourself up if something doesn't go exactly as you plan. Life happens. We've got to make adjustments. Number 3 is I want you to write the vision. Take the time to write down what it is that you envision for your life, what greatness you want. Number 4, move, act on that vision. It won't happen just by you thinking of it. Number 5 is hold yourself accountable. You must challenge yourself so that you can press harder and higher to achieve your greatness. Number 6, keep pushing, even when you have setbacks, because again, setbacks will happen. And number 7, is I want you to embrace your awesomeness. I want you to truly acknowledge the fact that you have greatness in you. And so once you acknowledge that fact, you can begin to bring it out. You can have this amazing year that I know life has in store for you, but only if you choose to adhere to these 7 tips that I've given you. You can have a great year, no matter where you've come from, no matter what you may be experiencing right now. The year lies ahead for you, and there's so much potential, and there are so many possibilities. I'm excited for your potential and possibilities. I'm excited for my own potential and possibilities. So I'm going to wrap up now and let you get on to living in and walking in this greatness. And by all means, be sure to leave me a review on iTunes. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a review on iTunes and let me know how you plan to pursue your greatness for this year, what you plan to do, how you plan to use these 7 tips to go on out there and just walk in your greatness. And of course, you can tweet me at Monica Tagore also. But for now, I just want you to truly embrace what I've said, to really mull it over for a few minutes, and then to think about how you will incorporate this into your year so you can go out there and have that amazing year. You can go out there and pursue that greatness. You can go out there and live that vision for your great life and have your great work and make the great impact you're meant to make. See you next time and have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to go to iTunes and subscribe. And tell a friend too, so they can live and breathe their greatness. And for more free information, inspiration, and ideas, be sure to go to monicacartertagore.com/greatness-newsletter and join the newsletter so that you get all of my best strategies, ideas, and information on freeing your greatness. In fact, go there now and you can get the Greatness Starter Collection, which is 3 free resources to inspire and inform you on your path to greatness. You have it in you. Go on. Set your greatness on fire.